Cannon here. I've got some awesome things I want to talk to you about. We're going to take a little walk through nature. It's a rare snowy day here in Oklahoma. I built a fire for no reason. Let's get out there. You can't just think your way into a good mindset. You have to take action, and you have to physically do things to put yourself in a better situation. And the first thing is environment. Basically like what I've done, just put yourself in a different situation so that you have space to think, so that you're not surrounded by people that don't believe in you, so that you're not being hindered by whatever the situation that you're in right now. And so environment is huge. And they've actually done studies on this. They found that people that live in different environments and change their environment are way more likely to succeed. I know that in particular, one study that I learned about, it talks about the environment being literally a dictator of your emotion and your brain chemistry. They studied people's brains and they found that when they moved, there was different parts of the brain that lit up. And so your environment is huge. That's a big part of your mindset. Another thing with mindset is you have to start taking action every day. And it doesn't take much. A little bit of meditating every day goes a long ways. And a gratitude practice. I know you probably hear a lot about gratitude, but it's absolutely critical. And that's probably been the biggest thing that has shifted my mindset. And I honestly feel like a different person. I don't feel like the same person I used to be. And I contribute a lot of that to gratitude. Every day I wake up, I think about 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I make sure and I experience the emotions associated with the feeling of having what I have already. And another thing about mindset is leading into that, talking about feeling the emotions. When it comes down to your goals and your dreams, one of the things that I keep coming across with different books and different teachings and different videos is that in order to manifest something, you have to feel the emotions associated with gaining whatever it is that you're looking for. And so experiencing what you already have. And I think that's obviously why gratitude is so powerful and why gratitude helps you to achieve more in life, is because gratitude allows your brain to already feel the sense of peace and happiness that comes along with having the gratitude for what you have. So if you can take time each day to have gratitude, that will change your life. Now, I want to get a little bit more into some of the specifics of what I've learned in health and some of the things that I've absolutely transformed my life with. Now, I need to rewind a little bit though. So the reason I moved out here, or a big reason why I moved out here, is because I wanted to get out of a moldy apartment. I lived in mold for 2 years. I kept going to the doctor. They couldn't tell me what was wrong with me. And I finally figured it out. And I discussed that in the last video that I talked about. Or that I made, rather. And I want to go a little deeper into how I healed from the mold. So obviously getting in the right environment is crucial, and every place has mold. It's not a matter of if you have mold, it's a matter of how much. Basically every apartment, every house has levels of mold, and depending on the level of mold, obviously depends on the severity of the implications on your health. So I decided I wanted to move out here and get away from the mold. But obviously the body's still trying to heal. It needs help. And especially if you've been in a really bad situation where you had a lot of mold exposure. So a few of the things that I did was, number one, take a binder, charcoal. You could take bentonite clay. There's a few others, but charcoal is a trusted and safe and a good one that I decided to go with. And so I took charcoal every day. Another thing is obviously fixing your diet. Diet is critical. And after going through so many different diets and so much research, I've been researching this topic for over 10 years now. I've been eating healthy for a long time, and even whenever I was getting the mold exposure, I was eating what I thought was healthy. But the science seems to show that vegetables and even fruit contain compounds that we're not supposed to be eating, at least not regularly. So I decided to go on the carnivore diet, and it's absolutely transformed my life. And I couldn't say that with more emphasis. I feel so great, and everything has turned around for me. My blood work looked great after I did carnivore for a while. And so I've been on it for 1.5 years now. I still feel great. And I think that that's probably one of the best things that anyone can do, just because mold thrives on sugars and cancer thrives on sugars. And so just eliminating all of that from my diet basically got me to the point where the mold couldn't thrive in my system. So I basically just strangled it out. And so that's a big thing, is the carnivore diet. Now, a few things that I would say, or two things specifically that I would say that anyone should look into, even if you haven't been exposed to mold, is number one, peptides. And that's a broad spectrum, and I'm not talking about collagen peptides. Yes, collagen peptides are important, but you should really be getting those from bone broth and not the peptides, the collagen peptide supplements, because those supplements can contain heavy metals, but they're also highly processed to the point of basically rendering out any of the bioavailability for your body. So I do bone broth. I try to do it at least a few times a week, and that's incredible for healing the gut. And of course it's carnivore too, so that's great. But not so peptides. Peptides are small chains of amino acids. Now the crazy thing is a lot of them are not legal, because the pharmacies, they don't want to have competition with what they're doing, and they don't want people to actually have the cure. Let's not get into that whole conversation. But hopefully soon, with RFK in office, we'll have more access to peptides. Now, some of them have been legalized and approved by the FDA, but all of the peptides that I've taken, the research I've done shows that these peptides are absolutely effective and absolutely safe to a point that's unbelievable. And these will actually go to the root cause of what's going on with you. And actually, what peptides do, long story short, so peptides signal your own body's biological process, because again, they're just amino acids. So they're not introducing anything into the body that you don't already have. So peptides will actually help the body to function at its most optimal. system. I like to call it cellular reprogramming because you're basically programming the body back to its normal functions. And so these peptides signal different processes. But so one of the peptides that I take that has been the most beneficial through the mold exposure is called VIP peptide. It's vasointestinal peptide. And it's really good for helping heal smooth muscle like your digestive system, the lining of your stomach, the lining of your the nasal passageways and the throat and all of that stuff. It can heal arteries and veins. And so that's been crucial for my healing. And another peptide that's really popular is called BPC 157. That's just a really good one for general healing and for tissue repair. It actually increases nerve growth factor in the site of your injury. So if you have like a specific injury, it can help increase nerve growth factor. A couple other that I've taken are CJC 157 or CJC 1295 and Ipamorelin. And those help your pituitary gland to release more growth hormone. And growth hormone is responsible for healing muscle, healing the skin, energy, all kinds of good stuff. So peptides are incredible and highly recommend anyone, even if you haven't been exposed to mold to a severe extent, to look into peptides. That's the future of health. A lot of people that know about peptides, a lot of doctors that know about these are saying this is the future of medicine. And so I'm really excited to see where peptides go. Another thing that I've been taking that's been absolutely phenomenal, and I've got, I don't even know how many people, probably close to 30 at this point, taking it religiously. It's called methylene blue. And methylene blue was originally found as a dye in 1876, and they used it to dye clothes. Well, they found that in World War II, they could treat malaria with it. And not only would it cure malaria, but if they gave it to the troops before they would go out into battle, that they would never contract malaria. It's also used in hospitals as a defense against cyanide poisoning, drug poisoning, snake bites, spider bites. It basically puts more oxygen into your cells. So it helps increase the body's ATP production, which is like your mitochondria, your body's energy source. It helps with that and the electron transport, certain things like that. It's not something that it's actually synthetic, which is interesting, but it's very safe and it's really, really good as an antifungal. And it basically the way I look at it is the underlying cause of all disease is a lack of oxygen in the cells. And so methylene blue can help combat basically any disease. And so it's something that I take regularly for energy. People that take it almost immediately notice a difference in their brain function. You feel sharper, you feel clearer, but you don't feel like a buzzy sensation like you do with caffeine. So it's really wonderful for the brain because there's more ATP in the brain than there is anywhere else in the body. So I've had people, I had someone give it to their kid that has what is it called? Autism. And she said that he got a lot more calm and feels a lot better. I've had people that take it for aches and pains and it helps with that. It's incredible. Methylene blue, definitely get that on your radar if it's not already, if you're looking to improve your health. And let's see, what's the other thing I wanted to talk about today? I want to talk about let's see, my journey to get out here and all the things that I've had to do. It hasn't been easy. So, speaking of mindset and speaking of manifesting, I was meditating every single day. And I constantly thought about this and how I could make this happen. And I always thought about the next thing that I could do, the next action that I could do. And I focused on that in my mind. And then I would put that into action. And it sounds simple, and it kind of is, but that's what you got to do. When you want something, you've got to think about it. You've got to give yourself space and time to really think about how to make it happen. And so I would meditate every morning, give myself space instead of getting in the mode of responding to everything. That's so critical. When you wake up in the morning, if you can not get on your phone, if you can not do anything else besides meditate and sit quietly and think about what it is you want to accomplish in your life, you can make it happen. Your mind is powerful. But if you get into the mindset of what everybody else wants you to do, and you start reacting to things, start reacting to emails, reacting to text messages, getting on social media, it basically puts your brain in reactive mode. And this isn't just me saying this. This is something that I've learned from scientists. Dr. Huberman talks about this. A lot of people talk about this. And it's so, so critical. It's the number one thing you can do to fix your life and to transform your life. And so that's how I basically made this happen, is I meditated every day. And now I'm here. I woke up and I could literally cry. It's so amazing. Because I was living in mold, and I was living in turmoil, and I didn't, know exactly what I was going to do to get out of it. But over time I did. Over time I figured it out. And so a few of the things to make it out here that I had to figure out is I had to go look for land. So I went searching for land, and I finally found a piece that was great, and I was able to lock down this land in Oklahoma, kind of east of Lexington. And I have had to go through a lot. In order to get electricity out here, I had to clear all of this out. So let me show you. I had to cut down probably 30 trees. I had to cut down probably about 30 to 50 trees, and they're just all along this row here. You can see where the power line is. And, I borrowed my dad's chainsaw, and I just got to work and made it happen. They say great things in life aren't easy, and living in the city, it's easy. And so I know why a lot of people do it. It's convenient. You're close to work and everything. I'm 45 minutes away from town. That's not bad. That's just time I get to listen to a podcast and learn and absorb information. Everything's perspective. And so my perspective is that living out here is the good life. It's better than living in the city where everybody else lives, doing what everybody else does. You don't have to have much, I live in this little cabin, and it's not much, but it's enough. And I don't need something big. I just need something to live in. And if I can do this cheaper, then I can create the time that money can't buy. Money can only get you so far. It can only do so much. But time, we only have so much of time. So if you can invest in things that are important to you and free up a lot of money, then you can give yourself time to work on the things that you want to do. And so that's ultimately what I'm doing here. That's why I'm making this video. I want to share my message with people. I want to inspire people through the things that I've learned in my life. I realize that through my own struggles and through my own journey that I've learned a lot, and it would be a shame to not help other people and whatever they're going through, because that's how I've got where I'm at. I've ultimately learned from a lot of people, read a lot of books, watched a lot of YouTube videos. I follow a lot of health influencers, if you will, and I wouldn't be where I'm at if it weren't for all those people. And now it's my turn to share my message. And so with that, my hands are getting cold, and I'm going to get inside. And I love you. Take care of yourself. Let me know if you have any questions. If there's anything I can help you with, I will. And I'll talk to you in the next one.